first hop edition is calls for nugget, but I couldn't get nugget, so I had to go Chinook. Now the thing is, the nugget alpha acid is only 8.2%, where the Chinook is 11%. So I just found a simple online calculator there and just typed in my original alpha acid, how many grams, and I typed in the alpha acid. There's moved up there, alpha acid there. Of the Chinook, 11%, and the replacement hop amount, so 20.8 grams I need. So something to think about when you're doing these recipes. Otherwise, imagine if I go using 28 grams of Chinook, 11% alpha acids, it'd be a lot more bitter than what it's supposed to be. G'day and welcome to Brews. Well, as you saw in the pool, there she is. Amber appearance, a clone recipe of Sierra Nevada. Now, what I plan on doing is I will have this can. I've reviewed it many times on this channel, but I will do a side-by-side comparison in another video with this beer. But all in all, the looks, appearance-wise, it's got a nice appearance, nice amber appearance. It's holding that head beautifully. Carbonated this at 30 psi for one day, and then it wasn't too bad. Then I dropped back to 20 psi for the next day. So yeah, it's ready to start drinking. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go through it. So the recipe originally started out of this and the clone brews, but I changed a few things along the way. As you'll see in the start of the video, when I'm scrolling through the ingredients, well, one ingredient changed because one ingredient failed, which it does happen. It does happen. Okay, so the recipe called for crystal malt. Now, I had light crystal malt, which I picked up from the Country Brewer home brew shop there at Coffs Harbour. Yeah, the recipe called for 113 grams of American crystal malt. So I did have American crystal malt, I had light crystal malt. And as I was mashing started, the colour I really wasn't happy. It looked a bit too light. I thought, nah, it's probably not enough. So I actually upped it to 500 grams of crystal. That's right, 500 grams of crystal. Well, the proof's in the pudding. That's a beautiful colour. Nice amber appearance. And then I used that 4 kilos of American ale malt, and that was already crushed. That comes pre-crushed. I prefer to crush my own because I know it's fresh, but I had no choice. I think I paid about, I think it was $20 for that 4 kilos. And because I didn't want to buy another 4 kilos of that, so and I've got Maris Otter in stock, I put 1 kilo of Maris Otter in it as well. So I've done a 90-minute mash. And then I done the hop additions. Now I had to the recipe called, I had to dial it back. I had to dial back the hop additions. It was like 29% less than the extract recipe. And then I had different hops. I had the, as you will see, I had the Chinook, which the Chinook was in place of the nugget, and the Chinook had an alpha acid of 11%. So I had to drop it back down. I dropped it down to 15 grams, and that was for the bittering. My strike water, I started with 16 for the mash, and then I sparged with 14. Now I will say too, I done no alterations to the water. I used my town tap water. We've got pretty good tap water here. They do harden it because it's mainly river water. It's pretty soft, but if they didn't harden it, it would stuff the pipes, everything to rust. If you've ever been to anywhere that has soft water, a sawmill up in the hills, they pump out of a creek and actually got a wash machine on site. And the wash machine's just totally corroded. You're like, oh wow, what happened there? But it's just soft water, it rusts it. So anyway, like no, I done no changes to the town water. Okay, so I had 24 litres all up after the sparge, and then it was an hour and a half boil too, I will say. So I done an hour and a half boil. And then with 15 minutes to go, I had the pearl and the well flock. And the pearl was pearl, and I had 14 grams because it was the flavour hop. And then I added at 1 minute to go, the last minute, I added 28 grams of Cascade. Now I had a starting gravity of 1061, so that's 1061. And I used that American ale yeast, the Brew, and next day I done a starter, and I was a little bit worried. I really wasn't happy with it. I've used it before for those English ale yeast, and I was pretty happy with it. But I done that yeast for the American ale yeast, and it could have been old, I don't know. It did not fire, and the only one I had, I picked up because I've made years ago. I made the Anchor steam ale clone. It was like more extract. Anyway, but I kind of like that style, and I like that yeast. It's a low yeast, so you can ferment between 18 and 20. Anyway, so that's all I had. And I had Brigalow yeast that I used for other stuff, but I wasn't putting that in the beer. So I used it was Mango Jack's San Francisco yeast, and I fermented it between 18 to 20 degrees. 19 to 20, somewhere around there. All right, so it fermented down. We got down to around 10. So what's that give us? Around 5.5% for the beer. So, and then on the third last day, after 8 days, okay, then after that I cold crashed it for 3 days, and then I put it into the keg. Now, I think I put about probably, I didn't want to suck up too much sediment, or obviously got hops in there, so I think I got about probably 17 litres in the keg, and then I just bottled the rest. Okay, the aroma. Now the hops aren't as pungent as I thought they would be. Definitely got the citrus there, definitely the Cascade, but it just smells like tasty beer. So all right, the best part of the journey, taste. Cheers. So it's definitely pushing up that fire against Cascade. I've definitely got a real maltiness there. There is also sweetness coming from the sugars extracted. Like I said, I did get down to 10. But yeah, some of the sugars remained. That head is holding nicely. I'm very happy with that. Taste profile is just an easy drinking lager. It's probably not be using ale yeast. Maybe the fruity characters of the yeast aren't there. But if you're for a easy drinking beer, that's at least 5.5%. It's pretty darn good. I'll be using that yeast again too. A very big fan of this yeast. It got to work for me. I'll tell you what. Because the worst thing about it is, from what I understand, okay, so with that, if you've got no activity, if the yeast do not fire for you, you're giving a chance for all bacteria and stuff. You get a head start the yeast get work and they control it. They take over. They're the police. They run the show. But yeah, I was very happy with it. Quite dry too, a nice dry finish on it. Definitely retain that sweetness. It's very malty, sessionable. Being a homebrew, I'll session it. Mind making this again, and then just dropping down the malt, dropping it back down around 4-ish, low 4s. I reckon they go right. I'd probably up the Chinook bitterness, just make it a little bit more bitter. And then, but to everything else, dry helping that, I'd do all the same. I mean, such a super easy drinking beer. I'm really happy with it. That is the best homebrew ever made. And once again, I can't speak highly enough of all grain. Once you do all grain, you'll never go back to extract again. Some people like to taste extract, and that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just happy you're drinking beer. But all grain, it's brew fresh beer. It's unpasteurized fresh beer. And then kegs are pretty affordable, really, when you think about it. If you put your time into it, the amount of time put into bottling compared to kegging, it pays for itself in the end. And if obviously if you've got kids, it's very time friendly. Very time friendly. You just wash them one keg instead of cleaning the lines instead of 60 odd bottles. Well, that head retention, I'm really happy with that. Look at that, really good head retention. I'll tell you what, I'm very happy with it. So thanks for watching this Jez Brews. Okay, till next time, take care. I'll see you in the next Jez Brews on Jez B Reviews.